Hello, hello, Ferret World. Hi, I just thought I would do a quick little live video with you guys because, just because I felt like it. And I just wanted to take a tour through Yuki's cage with you. I know a few of you ask me what Yuki's cage looks like, so here we go. Let's have a look. By the way, no one beat me up. I just have a cold sore. I get them sometimes when I'm stressed. Anyway, let's take a look inside Yuki's cage, shall we? And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments section below, right there, and I'll answer them for you. So let's have a look. Oh, look, I can put on a mask if I want. Hang on, let me see if there are any ferret masks. Nah, I'm just going to show you ferret cage. So, here we have the ferret cage. It's a kind of a, I'll stand up and show you what it looks like. So it's about yee high. So it's not very big, it's just a 2-level cage here. We actually reduced the size of the cage. We had a huge double-story one, which was this plus another section up the top when we had 4 ferrets. But when Yuki was left alone, we kind of downgraded the cage just because we've moved and there isn't really that much space for a big cage. So, and this is perfect for her. I'll show you what it looks like. We have a dark blanket on top that covers the cage. So she is in darkness for the whole day. As you can see, oh, it's a bit of dirt, doesn't matter. But the dark blankets I find work the best because it actually keeps the cage really nice and dark. So as you can see, it's working pretty well. Ferrets need to be kept in darkness throughout most of the day because the light kind of messes with their hormones a little bit if they're exposed to light too much, which can some studies have shown a link with that to developing adrenal disease. So it's really important to keep the ferrets in a nice dark area so that they can sleep peacefully in a dark area. Ferrets, I can't remember the scientific name for it. If someone knows though, please let me know. The ferrets are the types of animals that normally would, their polecat cousins, they tend to come out during the day and the night. This around. Their polecat cousins tend to come out during the morning and in the evening, and then sleep throughout the day in their dens, and then sleep during the night as well, so morning and evening. So that's kind of, I guess, why they need to be kept in darkness, otherwise they can develop adrenal disease. So, alright, I'm going to turn this around again, and let's take a look at her cage. So, I know it's a bit dark, it's just how it is. We have a hammock up here, and a blanket that she can snuggle up in up here as well. Then more hammocks, a little toy, and here she has a big thing that big sack that she can crawl into, as you can see. And then we have a ladder, and this is actually a water bottle that I've put into the freezer overnight. So it's a frozen water bottle. No, I've lost it. There it is. Frozen water bottle, as shown by Yuki. Hi, Yuki. And that's because it's stinking hot today, so I thought it'll help cool the cage down a little bit. So I wrap it in a towel so that she can snuggle up to it if she wants to. And Yuki is wanting to come out, but you can't because the front door is open. Missy. My little Missy. Hi, Yuki. Little baby. My little baby. Oh, she's so cute. That's the one. Crepuscular. Crepuscular. Yes, that's the one, Ashley. I can't say the word. That's probably why I don't remember it. I have trouble with certain words sometimes where I think it's because I know 2 languages fluently, and sometimes some words I just cannot say. It's really, really strange. But anyway, enough about me. Let's go back to the cage tour. So here we have a huge, let me just pull it out. Hi, Yuki. Here we have a huge high back litter tray. It's really big if you see it next to my hand. Ferrets prefer to poop, and as you can see, beautiful egg yolk colored poo in the corner there. Da, 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 da. Yuki's coming out. Oh no, the monster is out. The ferret is unleashed. I need to close the door so she doesn't get out and she can run around. Hang on. Alright, that should work. Now she can run freely if she likes. Hi, Yuki. Say hello to everyone. Licking the ice bottle. So yes, so we have beautiful coloured orange poo from egg yolks here. And a large high back litter pan. As you can see, it's quite big, so she can comfortably fit all of her feet in the box while she's doing the poo, which is nice and comfortable for the ferret. Then we have a clip-on water container because ferrets are renowned for snorkeling. Clip-on and clip in their water and spilling it. So in order to prevent that, you get one of these water containers which clips on. And then we have some a nice heavy bowl with some meat in there that she nibbles on, and blankets everywhere. I need to change these blankets. It's a bit messy. Sometimes she kicks out some of the kitty litter that I use, but that's okay. We'll just leave it for now, and we'll do that later. And then more blankets. And that is the cage tour. And then I have a stack of blankets down here. We tend to change the blankets on a weekly basis, and that's what's going to reduce the ferret smell as well. So lots of blankets, lots of hammocks, lots of hidey holes, lots of spoiling the ferret, lots of money spent, a very empty wallet. Damn you, ferret. Why are you so spoiled? So cute, that's why. She's very spoiled. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Just trying to get out of this section here. How do we do this? Oh, here we go. Okay. I can spell it but not pronounce it. Yes, exactly. Got me curious. What other languages? How do I look at the whole? This has changed. So I speak Polish and English fluently. So that they're the languages that I speak. I was born in Australia, but my background is Polish, and I lived in Poland for about 6 years when I was 9 to 15. That's 6 years. So yeah, that's my 2 languages. Safe Toys for the Cage by Hannah. Yes, I have a little toy here. She doesn't really play with it, to be honest. I think she prefers the interaction with me when she's out of the cage or just running around. So there's a little ducky. And then there's like balls that I was just looking for one of the balls that I've put in to her cage previously, but she normally kicks them out at some stage. She doesn't really play with toys that much. She mostly plays with the dog. Falky. Hi, Falky. Say hello to everyone. Hi. Hi. The dog and the ferret. They're best friends. They really, really like each other. Sometimes the dog tends to pull at her tail. But we trained the dog from the very beginning to be very gentle with Yuki, because, you know, I've heard lots and lots of horror stories about dogs killing ferrets and stuff like that. So ever since she was a puppy, we've been very strict, very, very strict with her. And in the beginning, she used to be very rough with Yuki as a puppy because, you know, puppies just like to be all crazy. But we quickly taught her to be gentler with her because we knew that she was going to grow up one day, and we wanted to make sure that they all got along, and slowly they became really good friends and they play together now, and it's really, really adorable when they're both in crazy moods, and then Falky will sometimes try to lightly grab at Yuki's tail, and Yuki does the Ferret-World dance, and it's just adorable. I'll have to put up a video of it one day. So that is what I was answering questions. Now, how do I get into... Aha! Got the questions. Alright. My ferret's name is Yuki. Kelsey. Yuki Rose, actually. To be fair, that's her full name. What kind of food? The food in her cage was a minced chicken that I bought. There's lots of meats, and I mean, Yuki has always been on a raw diet, and that's just kind of what has worked from the very beginning. We feed it a whole heap of different meats, though. If you are going to feed ferrets raw food, then you really need to make sure that it's a very, very balanced raw diet. You can't just feed them flesh because they will be nutrient deficient. So you need to make sure that you're giving all sorts of different things. I'm actually thinking of putting together a course about it because there's a lot of information that you need to know in order to transition your ferret onto raw food, and just generally feed your ferret a raw food diet, a raw food meat diet. So I was thinking of putting together a course about it just so that people can be more informed of how to do it properly. So if that is something that you're interested in, give me a thumbs up so I know that it's something that you might be willing to have a look at yourself. Yuki, what are you doing? What are you doing, you cheeky little monkey? All right. Oh, I see some thumbs there. That's excellent. Hi, Nina. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to see you here. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will head off and swelter more because it's really hot here today. That's why Yuki, you know what I need? Yuki has an ice bottle in her cage. I feel like I need one just for myself to cuddle up to on the couch because, man, it is hot today and we hardly get any air circulation in our little place. Yes, California does need to make ferrets legal. I agree, and there's been lots of people that have tried. Unfortunately, the authorities that be, for some reason, just don't seem to listen to logic and science and the fact that ferrets can't really survive in the wild. And a lot of the time I think they bring up the example in New Zealand where there's feral ferrets, but those ferrets they were kind of mixed with polecats, so they're half wild. So yeah, anyway, lots of people have tried and I hope they will keep trying. I know that ferret owners are just as stubborn as their pets and they'll probably not give up until it's done. In the meantime, I'll keep sharing petitions and whenever they pop up, and hopefully we can eventually get it passed. Hi Tracy from London. Need tips as have a poorly ferret. My biggest tip if you have a poorly ferret or a sick ferret is to take it to the vet. You know, it's easy to jump online and ask people questions about a ferret, and I think in some cases it's you know, it's nice that we have that community. But if your ferret is sick, ferrets are tiny animals and they can't really last that long without a vet. It is so important to get them to a vet as soon as possible, because they can go down. Their condition can worsen so quickly. They can go downhill very, very quickly, and it can be too late by the time you do end up taking them to the vet. So as soon as Yuki or any of our other ferrets got sick, we always took them to the vet as soon as possible. Because one time we had an instance where I think it was Skittles or Slinky or maybe Binksy, where we were taking, I noticed that she wasn't eating, her eyes were squinty, and I took her to one of the vets, and he said, oh, don't worry about it, bring her back in 3 days if she continues to be sick. And then I was like, my intuition is telling me that this is not the right advice. And so I went to a ferret expert and took her to a ferret expert, and he said if you had waited 3 days, she would have been dead. So always, 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 if your ferret is sick, please, please, please take it to the vet. That's the best thing that you can do for it. Isn't that right, Yuki? Yeah! Yeah! Can we get some love for Yuki? Lots of love. Lots of love. Give us some love hearts for Yuki. Mwah! Yay! Look at all those thumbs you're getting, Yuki. Oh my goodness, the love hearts are flowing in now too. So if your ferret is a little bit poorly, then, oh, look at those love hearts. Yay! Ow, I'm getting nipped. Ow. I must be a bit salty from the sweat. Okay. So, are you guys laughing at my expense? How big does a ferret cage have to be if you have 2? Okay, so I would recommend, it really depends on how long you have your ferrets out. If you're diligently committed to having your ferrets out, you know, around 4 hours a day or more, then you can get away with a smaller cage. However, if it's 2, for me personally, I wouldn't go any smaller than. And that's a pretty big cage. Only because we do have a smaller cage, which we call the sick cage, for when we had more ferrets, and we would put a sick ferret in the smaller cage when just to separate it from the others. But they don't really have that much room to move around and stretch. So this is why I love this cage. I'll show you again, because if she wants, she can move around, she can stretch, she can do lots of different things. There's a bit of mental stimulation in there and options. She has options and a bit of freedom to just spread her legs and not in a dirty way, obviously, but just you know, relax and stretch out and just, you know, move around. So I would kind of recommend that size cage for 2, even for 1. That's the minimum size that I would have a ferret in, and that's why we bought that cage. And it takes up quite a bit of the room. Let me show you. So there's the cage, and there's a tiny table. Cage, tiny table. Cage, tiny table. Cage. As you can see, the cage is pretty much as big as a tiny table. And we wouldn't have it any other way. All of our friends tell us that we spoil our animals too much, but there is no such thing as spoiling your animals too much. I think that if you have animals, it's so important to give them the best life possible. You're responsible for them. You kind of, for me, as soon as we get a new animal that joins our family, it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like signing an invisible contract that I will do the best by them as I possibly can. And that's what we always go out and do with animals. You know, even with Falky, the puppy, who's lying down here on the carpet. By the way, by pooped I mean tired. She's a small dog, and most people take small dogs to the park once or twice a day and just throw a ball. But with her, I'm like, even though she's a small dog, she needs as much exercise as she possibly can. So we do 2-hour bushwalks every second day, and she's super fit. I want to have muscles like Falky. That's my goal. So no matter what animal it is, as soon as you get an animal, it's kind of like an unseen contract that you sign unconsciously, for me, and to do the best by them as we possibly can, because they're in our care. And we automatically said, yes, I will be responsible for you, I will take care of you, I will do the best that I can by you. And that's why, for me, the cage takes up half the room. Ferrets. Yes, spoil. What does that word even mean? I don't know, Nicola. I have no idea what it means. My Frankie has a tummy problem. What's a good trick to give him his meds from the vet? I'm not sure what medication you have been given, Paul, but the best idea is when the vet is giving, when you're at the vet and the vet is prescribing the medication, ask them how they would give it to a ferret, and they will show you how to do it. So I don't know what medication your vet has prescribed, so I can't really tell you how to give that medication to your ferret. But if you're at the vet, ask them what to do. You can even give them a call or drop by. Just tell them beforehand that you would like to drop by, and maybe just get one of the nurses to show you how to do it. They might know, or if not, just have a very quick appointment with the vet just so he can show you. But I do have videos on YouTube of when I was giving Sammy his prednisone. When he had insulinoma. So if you wanted to see how I gave him his prednisone, then there is a video on YouTube about that. So yes. Yuki, you are not allowed to go out that door. No, Yuki, no. Come here. Let's sit down here and have a proper conversation, shall we? Hey, you cutie pie. Hey, you cutie pie. I have no time for this, Mummy. No, I don't. Alright, show your bum to everyone. That's fine. I'm sure they won't mind too much. What are you doing? What are you doing, you crazy girl? Oh, I thank you, Jonathan Perez. Thank you very much for liking my accent. Am I married? Yes, I am. I got married. Ferrets. What are my thoughts? This is an interesting one. What are my thoughts on letting ferrets free range? Okay. The concept of it, you know, I think I like. I'm just going to put Yuki away because I think one of our housemates is coming home. Or it might be Dougie. I kind of like the concept of free-range ferrets, but then I have these ideas that there could possibly be complications with it, and the complications is safety. For safety reasons, I probably wouldn't let Yuki free-range completely, only because I know that it's, even if you have your whole house ferret-proofed completely, you know, 2 of our ferrets died when Doug accidentally stepped on them. And it was horrible. It was horrible. And there are so many different ways that you can hurt or injure a ferret, or they're so curious and just want to know about everything. And seeing just seeing over the years all of the potential accidents that ferrets have gotten into from the community. I've seen a lot of people post about it. I've kind of realized that it's probably, for me personally, I wouldn't let my ferrets free range. I will let them out for up to, you know, more than 4 hours a day when I'm in the house, and let them roam around and just quickly check on them just to see if everything's in order, especially if it goes quiet. But I wouldn't let them free range, especially if I'm not at home, just for safety reasons. So I know that free ranging is a big thing right now. A lot of people are trying to let their ferrets free range. But for me personally, I wouldn't do it, just for safety reasons. You know, she gets into her cage when she's pooped and just goes to sleep anyway. She loves her cage. Why wouldn't you with a cage like that? And she did the same today. You know, she was out, she stayed out for as long as she wanted, and then she jumped back into a cage, had some food, and passed out, just went to sleep. So if you have a good cage setup, ferrets actually do like their cages. And for me, it's a peace of mind of knowing that she's safe. That's really important. And then when I'm home, or when Doug's home, and we can close everything off and make sure that the area is safe and secure, we'll let her run around for as long as she wants. So that's why I don't free range, and those are my thoughts on it. My pleasure, Vic. You're very welcome. I'm glad that you guys like the knowledge that I share with you. That makes me happy to hear. I love feedback like that. Okay. How can I find a good vet for my ferrets? Because our closest vet does not do ferrets. This is a tricky one because a lot of vets don't actually know that much about ferrets. Although I think ferrets are slowly becoming, or quite quickly becoming, more popular as pets. So it's a tricky one. If you don't have a ferret yet and are thinking about getting a ferret, then I would recommend that... Hang on. Falky wants to say hello to Daddy, and she's squealing at the door for him, so we need to let her go. She loves her daddy. Okay. So, yes, if you don't have a ferret but are looking into it, then I would recommend looking into whether or not you have a ferret experienced vet somewhere in the area, so that if anything comes up, and it will, I promise you, with ferrets, something always comes up. One of the guys that I once met who had ferrets once said that a ferret will at least suffer from one major thing that will need veterinary emergency care in their lives, at least. So it's so important to have someone that you know that can look after them in the area. So if you don't have ferrets and are looking for, looking to get a ferret, then I would recommend, looking into whether or not you have an expert in the area, or how far they potentially are, because there's nothing more heartbreaking than seeing your ferret suffer when something goes wrong. So I think that would be one of the things to do before you get a ferret. And if you already have a ferret, it's a tough one. I guess you kind of need to interview the vets that are in the area and see if, ask around ferret groups and see if there are any ferret groups in your area. Any ferret societies, any welfare societies that might be in your area. Ask them what vets they use, because they'll be able to point you in the right direction. They have vets that they use constantly with all the rescues and adopted ferrets and abandoned ferrets and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably my tip there. But apart from that, if you don't have any rescues or anything like that, you just need to interview people and find the vet that is either willing to learn, or find an expert in another region, which you might be able to email or call, even if it is for a fee, just to ask them some advice, or connect those two vets together if something goes wrong, and ask your vet to talk to the other vet if, you know, something goes wrong. So there's solutions, you know, that's probably not the best solution, but if you have no other option, then, you know, you kind of have to make it work so that your ferret gets the best possible care. So yeah, just figure out how your vet can get in touch with a ferret expert if needed. And it's up to you to make that happen if there are no other ferret experts in the area. So yeah. Ferrets are awesome. Yes, they are. I have my ferret is really fat. What do I do? Zach, you might want to look into how much exercise your ferret is getting. Exercise is super, super important. If your ferret is really fat, then you might want to start taking it for walks, maybe, just to help slim it down. And second of all, I would look into the type of food that it's eating as well. The type of food that a ferret eats is very, very important for its health, and the exercise as well. So it just depends, I guess. Some ferrets get a little bit fat if they're sick as well. So for example, or they might appear fat if they have, I think if it's like adrenal disease or insulinoma, they might get a really big belly from the medications that they have, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're fat. It's just the medication. So it really depends what's causing the fatness that you kind of need to look into. And, you know, Yuki, occasionally in winter, I sometimes look at her and go, girl, you've gotten porky. And I put a leash on her and start taking her for walks, and then after a couple of weeks she slims down a little bit. So that's one thing that you could do. But also the food, you need to look into the food and what you're feeding the ferrets. So yeah. What do you think about having ferrets descented? I would never do it. In Australia, that's actually considered animal cruelty, taking the anal glands out, and it's unnecessary because the smell of the ferret doesn't come from their anal glands. Only the really, really kind of pungent smell that they let out very, very occasionally comes from that area. But the everyday kind of ferret smell that you smell comes from the oils in their skin secretions, and it gets caught on their blankets, and that is what smells. If you want to reduce ferret smell, you need to start cleaning your blankets, you know, as often as you can, and then you won't smell the ferrets as much. And make sure that you clean the cage on a regular basis. So we clean the cage, the poop, on a daily basis. That's how you can reduce the smell. And the blankets, because we have one ferret, we tend to change the blanket every week or every week and a half. But if you have more than one ferret, then you'll need to change the blankets more frequently. So yeah, I would never descent a ferret because it's considered animal cruelty in quite a few countries. Australia is one of them. It's an unnecessary procedure, and you're not going to reduce the smell of the ferret by doing that at all, apart from the big pungent poof that they let out sometimes. So yeah, I would never do it. I see a lot of questions about food. As I mentioned beforehand, I'm thinking of putting together a course about ferret diet. And I saw quite a few thumbs up about that. So I will be starting on that. I was planning on start on that this month, and hopefully in the next couple of months we'll have something for you. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Yes, I know descenting is sadly common in the US. I know. It is sad because it's an unnecessary procedure. It's kind of like declawing a cat, you know. It's kind of like, why would you do that to an animal? If you want to save your furniture, then get an animal that's not going to scratch your furniture. If you want an animal that doesn't have a musky smell, then don't get a ferret, because they unfortunately have a bit of a musky smell. You know, one ferret isn't as smelly, but if you get 2 or more, then yeah, they smell. And some people love the smell. I love the smell, you know, and I know you crazy ferret owners love the smell as well. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion on it. I'm sure other people have lots of their own opinions, but yes. Little bit of a downer question. I have a girl with lymphoma, regular kind and on preds. She was diagnosed 8 months ago and will be going for a checkup again soon. What sort of life expectancy have you seen with them regarding lymphoma from diagnosis? That is a bit of a downer question, and I'm so sorry to hear, Ashley, that your girl has lymphoma. Binksy, was it adrenal or lymphoma? I think she had lymphoma as well. I'll have to check my YouTube videos because I can't remember now. Yeah, it's horrible when they go through that. If they generally, my vet told me that if they go on to preds, then their prednisone, then their life expectancy is generally about 6 months. So, you know, if she was diagnosed 8 months ago, I think just give it as much love as you possibly can, and just be there for her. Enjoy the time that you have together, and you know, if she was diagnosed 8 months ago, she's on preds for that long. I don't know if it was with the surgery or not, though. I don't know. I would have to ask my vet about that to be 100% certain. I don't want to freak you out or anything, because I'm not 100% sure. So, but just enjoy the time that you do have with her, and I'm going to have to ask my vet about that, just to see, because I'm not 100% sure. But unfortunately, when they get these things, then it's kind of like, you know, slowly inching towards the end. And I know that's a bit of a downer as well, but it's just a reality that as ferret owners we have to face, and that's when our ferrets need us the most, and that's when we're really called to help them as much as we can. And for me, it's always an honor and to be able to serve them and to be able to help them during their toughest times as well. So that's the carer in me. I actually studied to be a nurse. I was also a dental nurse at one stage, so that's the carer in me. I love looking after others and animals and things like that. So when they get to that stage, I'm always there for them, and it's always an honor to be able to look after them when they're at, you know, their weakest. So yeah, I hope it's the same for you, and you know, yeah. Vicky, love their smell. Yeah, that makes you a crazy ferret owner. Oh, you guys, lots of you love the smell. Oh, actually, I'm happy to hear that she's still full of beans. Yeah. She's only 2. That's really sad. I'm sorry that you have to go through it. But she's lucky to have you. You sound like a really, really good carer, and she's very lucky to have you. What is my craziest ferret story? Ugh, every day is a crazy ferret story with ferrets. I don't know. I don't know. One of the things that pops into my mind, when Sammy jumped out of the window and we didn't know where he was, because alright, ferret-proof your home, even the areas that you don't think they could ever get out of. Sammy, one time I think we let all the ferrets get out, wander around the house as we usually do, and all of a sudden we're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, but where's Sammy? And we looked around the house, and then for some reason, my intuition, I looked at a window and I was like, oh, no, not possible. And we started looking outside, and I was calling Sammy, and he came running towards me. Scariest moment ever, and craziest moment ever. But it was nice that he came. But then he kind of ran off into a bush as soon as I approached him closer. But he came back when he realized it was me. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. I was glad to get him back. No problem, Ashley. Sending you lots of love. I know it's not going to be easy, but I think that you seem to have the right attitude towards it, and just being able to look after your baby. That's really, really important. Alright, I think that's going to be it. Dougie just got home, and we are about to go look at a mountain bike now. So my not so New Year's resolutions after my trip from Europe, I decided to be more active and more adventurous. So one of the things that we're doing this year is getting mountain bikes and going mountain biking. So that's really exciting. But it's not a New Year's resolution. It's just something that I feel like I've finished one phase of my life and ready for the next one. So yeah, that'll be fun. My boy just sleeps all the time. Is he okay? Tracy, ferrets are renowned for sleeping up to 18 hours a day. So most ferrets do sleep 18 hours a day. But if your ferret doesn't wake up at all, and doesn't get out of the cage and isn't curious and doesn't have alert eyes and kind of wants to wander around at least, or war dance. I mean, some ferrets are a little bit calmer, but most of the time a sign of health is if they're curious about things and want to get out. If you're not finding that at all in your ferret, then I would recommend taking it to the vet for a checkup, just in case. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you with my lovely cold sore here. I wouldn't want to get too close now, would we? Oh, no. And hopefully, if you guys really enjoyed this live stream, then maybe we can do it again sometime soon. So let me know if you enjoy it, and maybe we can do it. The more comments and love and compliments I get, the more likely you'll get another live stream. Just saying. Alright, see you guys. Love you lots. Bye. Give your ferrets a big mwah, kiss from me without a cold sore. Alright, bye.